Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Harvey here at the Justin Harvey Show. But I also want to mention, I also go by DJ J-Ray back in the day when I was doing radio spots with my boy Brian Resner. And today me and Brian Resner are going to do a special show for you guys. How's it going, B-Rez?
It's going good, Justin. How are you doing?
It's bittersweet, man. I'm handling my business. I'm a co-host on a brand new podcast. So.
I seen that. What is that show about?
It's like stuff back in the day, like VCR tapes. It's like back in the day, and then I get to tell funny stories from junior high and high school, and I kind of get to be like the Howard Stern co-host on that show, so it's a lot more raw.
Nice.
So I kind of get to, cut loose, which, I've always wanted to do, but on regular radio, I couldn't always do that.
Right.
But in order for me to set this up, B-Rez, I want the people to understand after you got done with the radio business, you actually had Planet Krypton for a while, and anytime you had anybody at Planet Krypton or even Munchies, you always allowed me to meet whoever I wanted to meet. So, and I want to thank you for that as well.
Oh, for sure. I tried my best.
Yeah, and I distinctly remember the very first time you were on my podcast, which people can go back in the archives and listen, but I remember you teasing something on my podcast, and you said to me, I'm working on a deal to get you-know-who to meet you, and today I can actually reveal who that was. The person you were actually talking about is DMX. So the special story that I want you to talk about, that I really want to ask you, just how close was I to meeting DMX? How did all this go down? I mean, what went down, B-Rez?
Well, I will tell you this. Whenever we found out, we could kind of set this up just a tad bit differently if we do a little bit of a rewind. DMX was one of the biggest rappers in the world at one time. He was set to be the next Tupac and all that, and at that time, booking DMX would have cost $150,000 or more. So, DMX was worth a whole lot of money when he was, on top of the world. But, one of the things that, we definitely want to talk about is drugs. Drugs kind of took DMX from that spot of being so high up on the card to falling down to where actually I had an opportunity to maybe book him. At the time, he hadn't done anything in a while, but he was just starting to do performances again, and that's when I talked to him, and when we talked to him, we were of course talking to his people, his management, and the price that we were working on was $5,000, which I thought, wow, like $5,000 bucks. That's not a whole lot of money for somebody who was supposed to be the next Tupac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I thought was pretty interesting, is that he went from being like a $250,000 act to being a $5,000 act, and being available to come to a bar that held 500 people in West Virginia. Well, that didn't. Unfortunately, I was really excited about it because I knew how excited you were going to be about it when we brought him to Beckley. but it all kind of fell apart because he had another another issue with drugs and things like that, and that those performances were pulled quick before we could even get ours completely in set in ink. The whole tour was pulled out from under us. Now, luckily, a few years later, about 4 years later, Jonathan Sly brought DMX to the Blue Ridge Rock Festival, and I
would have known that. I would have tried my best to be there, but I didn't.
Well, believe me, we were trying our best to figure out a way to get you down there, but it was just it wasn't in the cards that time either.
Yeah.
And so, DMX was super close to you two times there, and if we would have just made it happen, then you would have got to meet him before he passed away. I wish it would have happened.
Yeah, I wish it would have happened too, because I've even got a tattoo on my back to honor him, B-Rose, and I've had that for years, even before his passing.
Oh. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that tattoo.
Yeah, and also, B-Rose, I want to take it back even further. I've always been a big DMX fan. As a matter of fact, some people don't believe me when I tell them that I actually did radio spots with you, and one in particular that I actually got on the air about was when DMX announced his retirement, and I remember calling you up at the radio station, and I'm like, B-Riz, I got to get on the air. I got to get on the air and talk about this. So we actually talked about his retirement from the rap game when he decided at the time to retire. So.
That is true. And you know what? I can also tell you one thing. If you go way back even farther, there was a time when I actually got to meet DMX, and it was at a show in Charleston for Drag On, which Drag On was his new signee at the time, and they were actually hanging out at the club in Charleston. And I got to actually shake his hand and get introduced to him. It was pretty awesome. I didn't spend much time talking to him. I was actually pretty young myself. I was about 18 years old.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty cool thing to get to see DMX. And another thing, I had a friend when I was young who actually sold DMX the pit bull that was on the Grand Champ album. On the front of the Grand Champ album, the white pit bull on the front of the Grand Champ album was actually purchased from West Virginia.
No, that was something. That was something about DMX I didn't even know. So.
Well, there you go. That dog was from West Virginia.
Wow.
A man by the name of Kenyama Richardson, rest in peace, was the guy who actually sold some dogs to DMX on several occasions.
Wow, that's amazing.
And he lived in Beckley. He actually lives in Oak Hill as well.
I would like to think that maybe if DMX would have got here, maybe he would have really liked Beckley, West Virginia, even though we're not like a big place where he's used to going all the time. I would like to think that he might have, enjoyed his time here.
I don't know. I think DMX was struggling with some demons that kind of made it hard for him to enjoy his time anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's what what ultimately led to his death were those exact demons.
Yeah, and I've seen all kinds of crap online where people starting to make rumors where they're talking about coronavirus killed him. No, it had to be his drug addictions what killed him. So.
Well, it was an overdose. So an overdose led to his death. So.
Yeah. But luckily, B-Riz, I've been reading on the internet that he actually completed one more album before his death. So.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe we'll see that released soon. And I really hope it was better than the album that he came out with before last. The one that had the MGK song on it. That one, I really expected big things out of that album, and I really expected I always thought that DMX was going to come back. Like, it was just going to be one day he was going to come back. He was going to have an album that everybody was going to love. He was going to be on top of the world again. And that's what I always wanted for DMX, but it never really panned out. So maybe we'll see it after death.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And I also read he was in the process of doing like some kind of reality show to try to, bond with his kids because, he had some relationship issues with his children and stuff. So I thought maybe that would have been, interesting to see. But unfortunately, we won't get to see that. So.
No, we sure won't, unfortunately.
So I just wonder what the Rough Riders are going to do from here now that DMX is gone. So.
Well, the Rough Riders haven't really done much in a long time anyway. So.
Yeah,
I'd say,
that's
probably
true.
be about the same as it has been.
Yeah. But it just goes to show you, drugs can take you out quicker than you're supposed to go, B-Res.
Yeah, people do not realize how dangerous drugs are, and once once the bug has bitten you, you're bitten, and that's just the way it is. That's it doesn't matter what is ahead of you. Like if you have all these opportunities that could come ahead of you, you've got all these things that can happen, and then drugs will just take every bit of that away. And then two guys will be doing a podcast about how you were going to come to Beckley, West Virginia for $5,000, but you didn't go, and you didn't make it, and then later on you died. And that's not the kind of podcast you want about your life, I don't think.
Exactly, and to my understanding too, DMX spent a lot of time in jail.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if you think about all the creativity he could have done, but instead, he was in jail.
He really needed some help. Like, whoever was in charge of managing DMX's career, and of course I have no idea who that was or what all they put into trying to help. Because sometimes you can try and you can try and you can try and you can't accomplish anything with someone who's on drugs. But I feel like someone could have tried harder with DMX. I mean, he was so special, and if they could have just got him away from drugs, he could have been the biggest rapper in the world. I mean, everyone thought he was going to be. Everyone thought he was the next Tupac. Everyone thought he was going to be one of the GOATs.
Yeah, because I remember a lot of the times, which I like rock music too, but I remember a lot of times I used to call you at the radio station, play some DMX for me, B-Res, play some DMX for me, B-Res.
It wasn't always the easiest thing to do, huh?
No, because the you have to have it censored.
But we did play Party Up. We did play Party Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Party Up on CHR. So.
Yeah. Because I even remember you told me there was such a thing as a blacklist at the time at the radio station too. So. Oh
yeah. There's all types of songs that are blacklisted from CHR. Any of the rock songs or rap songs or any of those songs like that would not be available on a top 40 station.
Yeah, exactly. And I even remember you telling me that here in West Virginia, they could actually uncensor music around here at a certain time of night, but they won't because of this general area. So
yeah.
But actually, regular radio is dead now. So
it is kind of different, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. And I know you tell me that I build you up too high all the time, B-Res, but I got to tell my audience, if it wasn't for you guiding me when you did years ago, there would probably be no podcast. So.
Well, I'm flattered.
So,
I appreciate the
I
appreciation.
even remember hearing about, like, the day that you helped me out at the radio station, it was your day off. So I remember hearing about that, too.
Well, I don't ever have a day off. I don't know what those things are.
And I remember you helped me physically walk up them fucking steps, too.
Those steps were a beast, especially for you, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I still think that if we would have thrown you out of your chair there at the bottom, you'd have still made your way up.
Oh yeah. Come hell or high water. Because to me, there's nothing like live radio, man. Like, seriously. I know everybody's into, like, live streaming and all that shit, but to me, I still love live radio broadcast.
Terrestrial radio.
Yes.
But now, luckily, you're not on terrestrial radio. You've got your own podcast, and people can hear you all over the world. Yeah, exactly. Because I remember you telling me one time, and you said to me, "These are the things you can't say," and I'm like, "I'm good." And now you can say whatever you want. Yeah, exactly. It's your show on your own little network. Yeah, and B-Riz, like I said, I don't know what it's going to have to take, but I want to do something special to, honor DMX, and you told me that could be done. I just don't know what needs to be done for that to happen. So we'll have to figure it out. The best way for you to do that. Yeah. Because I actually got to thinking the other day too, B-Riz. I mean, I really reflected the other day, like. I thought about, like, what my life would have been like if I wouldn't have been, like, physically disabled in the wheelchair. And, even though I'm into martial arts, what I probably would have done after that, I probably would have had, like, you in my corner as I was, like, professional boxing. And then I would probably come out to something DMX. And then after I got done with boxing, I probably would have started my career with, like, WWE. And if they would have told me, well, your theme music can't be DMX, I'd be like, just give me the growl and the bark and figure out what my theme can be, and there you go. Right. You'd have made a hell of a wrestler. You think so? Of course. Well, I tell you all the time to put me through a table, but you won't let me do it. Well, I just feel like everyone would frown on me picking you up out of your wheelchair and throwing you through a table. I don't think people would like me much for doing that. It's B-Riz, it's all for the show, bro. You got to take some heat. Yeah, that's the kind of heat that I'm not sure if I need in my life right now. Are you sure about that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm all about the heat, but I don't think that heat might be the best idea. Because I'm giving you an offer to put me through a table without any repercussions, and how many times does that really? Yeah, I just don't know about that no repercussions thing. I'm pretty sure that the people would decide whether they were going to give me no repercussions or not, and I think their answer would be no. Of course they're going to give me repercussions. I can even see, like, the hardcore activists getting pissed at you. Right. Everybody would get mad at me. They'd be like, you're the guy who put the wheelchair kid through the table. I'm not trying to be that guy. And see, that's what I'm trying to break with this new podcast, B-Riz, is I'm not just some wheelchair kid. You're right. I'm a guy that happens to be in a wheelchair and rolls up in a club and enjoys ladies and enjoys drinking a beer every now and again. And enjoys life the way that the way that you see it. Exactly, because, like, B-Riz, I swear, man, the greatest thing about Munchies was they treated me like I was a celebrity there, man. Like, seriously. Well, that was the goal, to make sure we took care of our celebrities, and you just happened to be one. I was VIP. Well, we had a lot of experience dealing with celebrities, so when you came in, we were ready.
And what really got me, B-Rez, I'm going to tell this story on my podcast because this is something I'll even remember on my deathbed. I can't remember the woman's name that was working that night, but you told me, you said, I was sitting there drinking my beer, minding my business, and you told me, you said, there's this girl that's working tonight. She wants a picture with you because she heard Justin Harvey of the Justin Harvey Show was here. So I'm like her
name was Amy.
Down my beer,
her name was Amy.
You unlock my brakes. So I'm freaking thinking she's going to stand behind me or beside me. No, she gets right up in my lap.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, so man, sometimes you got to beat the fans off with a stick.
Oh, yeah. And B-Rez, I appreciate you, bro, and like I said in my previous post, if there is a heaven, I'm sure my brother welcomed DMX into heaven, and the first thing he said was probably, "My little brother's a huge fan of yours." So,
I would say that probably did go down.
So, because I've got so many memories of like DMX's music, like through my own life. Like I remember leaving my high school graduation from Shady, jamming to Where the Hood At. So, and back then, Shady was a racist school. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's why a lot of people didn't like me, B-Rez, because a lot of the friends I had was over at Woodrow. You know, the opposing school.
Right.
But when you actually met DMX, did you get a chance to get a picture with DMX, or was it just like
No, it was a quick little meeting, and I was young and nervous, and no, I didn't get a picture, unfortunately.
Well, that sucks. That really sucks.
It definitely sucks. Well, that was not to show my age, but that was at a time when everybody didn't have a camera in their pocket at all times.
The good old days.
Yeah, I was rocking a Nokia with the old school Snake game on it. I didn't have a phone where I could take pictures of whatever I wanted, so it wasn't as user friendly as it is now.
That's old shit, man. Totally old shit.
It was old. I'm old. I'm decrepit, Justin. You didn't know?
Well, I'm catching up to you, B-Rez.
I'm 38 years old now, so.
Wow.
How old are you?
I'm 35 now.
Right. See, I'm older and wiser. You got to listen to me now.
I try to, man.
I'm just kidding.
And here's the thing, B-Rez. I'm starting to realize that life is so much better single.
Oh, yeah?
Starting to realize that.
Well, I can't speak on that.
Well, I know exactly why you can't speak on that. Trust me, I know.
Speak on that.
But I gotta say, I did meet her, and she's awesome.
She is.
I'm just saying, for me personally, there's just too much baggage. It's just too much.
Right.
But what's next for you, B-Rez? I mean, you've done a lot in the industry. You know, you did radio, you did this, you did that. What's next for you?
Well, right now I'm putting a lot of my focus into the podcast network, Superior Radio Network. We're doing Franchise with Shane Douglas, and we're doing House of Kayfabe, and we've got a few other shows that are coming out in the next few months. So we've got a lot of stuff over at the Superior Radio Network that I'm putting a lot of my time into. Producing pretty good stuff.
Keep yourself busy, then, huh?
Well, we've had quite a few guests on the show. Heath Slater came on our show, talked about his release. We also had Ricky Morton telling stories from back in the day. We had Nick Aldis episodes coming out soon. We've had Kevin Sullivan on the show. We've also got Peli Primo coming up, which Peli Primo is the guy who was sued by Joey Ryan for defamation of character when Joey Ryan was accused of sexual assault. Peli Primo was online talking about his personal experiences with Joey Ryan coming after his fiance, and Joey Ryan actually sued him for it. And then the court started throwing Joey's lawsuits out one by one, and they ended up throwing out the Peli Primo lawsuit as well. So after they threw the Peli Primo lawsuit out of court, then we got in touch with Peli Primo and did an interview with Peli Primo that was very interesting about that whole situation, which we are going to be releasing very soon on the House of Kayfabe stream, which you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean. We're over on Radio Public. We are on tons of different places, Breaker, and basically anywhere where you find your podcasts, you can find the Kayfabe stream. And on the Kayfabe stream, you get the flagship House of Kayfabe show. You also get the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly review show. You get the special reports, or the special editions, the full report. There's a lot of different stuff. And coming soon, we are going to be doing Smoky Mountain Memories. So that's something that is coming to the Kayfabe stream real soon, where we're going to be talking about Smoky Mountain Wrestling from episode 1 until the end.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've been watching wrestling on Peacock since Peacock has WWE Network now. So that. Yeah,
I sure have been. I've also contacted a VPN so that I can get WWE Network from another country, because it is not sanitized. It is the old WWE Network if you get it in another country like Europe or somewhere else.
But ain't it fucking sad that we've got to do something like that just to get like the old unsanitized stuff? Ain't that sad?
It is sad. We actually just did a piece on that on the podcast, on the last podcast, where it was the second part of the Ricky Morton interview, but we also talked about Peacock sanitization, which it definitely sucks. It's not something that was ideal. One of the things that we talked about on the show is how it would have made sense for the WWE, and the WWE got $1 billion for the WWE Network to be placed on Peacock. Yeah. I believe that if they would have structured that differently, they could have got $1 billion just for 2010 to now. If they would have just given them 11 years of WWE stuff and all the new stuff, they would have probably taken that for $1 billion. You could have given them all the PG WWE stuff and the new stuff, and they would have paid the $1 billion, and you would have all that other stuff to create an adult style, or like an advanced network. You know, an advanced network that has everything. You can get the Peacock network that has 2010 and up, and the new stuff and the pay-per-views and all that stuff. And Peacock's only $5.95. So, and then you could offer the other parts of the network that aren't on Peacock for $10. So then the WWE would still get their $10 that they had been getting, and they would have got $1 billion for the Peacock subscriptions, and they would have done double the money, and and we wouldn't have lost anything.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't fool with a VPN. I don't know how all that stuff works, but I definitely do miss the original WWE Network with the original content, and I'm not a big fan of them sanitizing things. And I think that's one thing me and you both can, agree on. So.
Yeah, that is something we can agree on for sure.
Yeah. So, but I wanted to mention to you, B-Rez, there was one artist that actually came to to Munchies, and I wish I could have been there. I wanted to meet Afro Man when he was there.
He was there twice, actually. We brought Ephraim in 2 different times. I'm surprised that you didn't make it out for those.
Yeah, I didn't have a way of getting there, so I couldn't make it. Because I was actually going to have him do like a promo for the show. I was going to have him do I was going to listen to the Justin Harvey show, but then I got high, but then I got high, but then I got high.
Well, I'm actually working on bringing Afro Man back to West Virginia right now, so we may have something for you very soon.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be totally awesome. But I'm telling you, B-Riz, if you would have got DMX here for sure, nothing would have stopped me. I would have probably tried to physically crawl to Munchies at that point.
We need to work out a way for you to go to Metal in the Mountains, because Metal in the Mountains is coming to Pipestem in June, and there's all types of awesome bands attached to that. You've got Head PE, you've got Attila, you've also got Soulfly. So there's a lot of really awesome bands that are coming to Metal in the Mountains. And you know who the host of the whole show is?
Who?
Kevin Nash.
You're shitting me.
I am not shitting. I would not shit you, Justin Harvey. You are my favorite turd.
How did I know that was coming? Man,
yeah,
we gotta get you there somehow. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you gotta get out there for sure. I mean, unfortunately, I won't be going because I'm so far away. But we've got to find somebody willing to take you out there, because that is going to be an awesome show, an awesome time, and you get to meet Kevin Nash.
Oh, that would be a blast. That would be an absolute blast. Last movie I actually seen Kevin Nash in was Chick Fight, and he played a gay character. It was hilarious. Did you ever see that movie?
I did not.
It's hilarious. It's got Kevin Nash in it as a gay character. He does real well. So
this show happens in August, actually, not in June. It was moved from June to August. So it's August 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. And
wow.
Kevin Nash is there Thursday night with Byzantine. So you would want to definitely show up on Thursday night, because that's when Kevin Nash will be there. Byzantine will be there, Crash Karma, Dying Oath, Transcend, Push Button Apocalypse. And then on Friday, you got Attila and King 810, plus a Killer's Confession, The Crown, The Lethal Injection, Seasons, Until the Dead Walk, Inferior Design, Haymaker, War, Defiant, Drowned Out, Nova Omega, Metal Mafia, A Fitting Revenge, and Monster Dolls. And then on Saturday, you get Soulfly, which is one of my favorite bands ever. Max Cavalera is amazing. So Soulfly is your headliner that night with Butcher Babies. They also have Stitched Up Heart for the Fallen Dreams, September Morning, which they're incredible. 40 Below Summer, Dread Engine, Blackwater Drowning, Carnivora, Pigweed, Black Satellite. And then on Sunday, they have Head PE as the headliner, which Head PE is one of my favorite bands ever as well. And the Lonely Ones will be there, Sons of Texas, 3 Years Hollow, Sunflower Dead, Flaw, Losing September, Co-op, White Collar Sideshow, Out of Darkness, Voodoo Moonshine, Five Star Hooker, and Clinch Fist. And they're also still announcing bands, and that is at 41 Pipestem Spa Way, Pipestem, West Virginia, at Metal in the Mountains at Pipestem Event Center. So it's going to be really awesome.
It's too bad you're too far away, man, or I'd have you pick me up and we'd go. So,
yeah, we sure could.
Because I remember one time, I actually, the first time I met Chris Jericho, I went to the mall and met him at FYE, and Mom couldn't bring me back to Munchies at the time, so you actually drove me over to Munchie's.
Yeah.
That way I could see the concert and, the whole bit and stuff. So.
Yeah, that was a good time.
So, but I've been telling, like, all my friends I've been wanting to, like, move to freaking Florida now. So.
Florida's a wonderful place to be, man. Wonderful place to be.
Because, I mean, without Munchies and without you here, man, it's freaking boring, man. It really is. It's rather depressing if you think about it. So.
I try not to.
Yeah. And Jake the Snake Roberts was awesome. Totally awesome. Now that guy's got some stories.
Right.
I tell you what, B-Res, I would love to meet New Jack.
Well, you could definitely meet New Jack. He's out there to meet. I can't believe you hadn't met New Jack. I brought him to the area probably 4 times.
Yeah, I remember that one time you told me on the podcast about him being pissed off about not getting picked up.
That was the first time I ever met him. He was already mad and at the at the airport and had been there for 2 hours without getting picked up.
Yeah. But like I said, B-Rose, I just want to say to my people, don't do drugs and enjoy your life, because even when you don't do drugs, life is short. But when you do drugs, life is even shorter. Because, I mean, dude was only 50 years old. And so talented. So talented.
Yep, sure was.
He, what was your favorite DMX album, B-Res?
Oh, the first one.
First one?
Yeah, it's dark and hell and hot. Yeah, it's dark and hell is hot. You can't go wrong with that one. And then the second one would definitely be my second favorite.
Yeah. I love the song that he did with Marilyn Manson. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was definitely really good. I would say that the albums actually are ranked for me as they came out. Like, the first one's my favorite, the second one's my second favorite, the third one's my third favorite, the fourth one's my fourth favorite.
Yeah. I just hope this new album, that's supposed to come out is really, really good. So
I hope it becomes both of our favorites, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, because I have to say that my favorite album is Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, but I also love It's Dark and Hell is Hot. So
yeah, they're both great albums.
Yeah, I think my theme music would actually be one of the tracks from one of those 2 albums. So.
Yeah, probably. You don't know.
I could totally see me coming out to DMX ready to fight.
See, I think that I think your theme song should have been "Who We Be."
That's a good one. That's
the one that I'd pick as your theme.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. That would be a good one. Should I tell my audience what we're planning on doing with the project, B-Rez, or should I leave that as a surprise? Because you know what I want to do to honor DMX. Do you think I should let my audience know?
I think that it would probably be better if you surprised them with it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Really, that's up to you. That's up to you.
No, I will say this. Will you be able to grab everything we need, or will I need to do anything?
I'm not sure. We'll have to talk about that off the air and get a list of things you need.
Okay. Why don't we finish up this podcast and then we can talk about it off air. I'll call you right back, and then we'll talk about it a little bit off air before I let you go.
Sounds like a plan, sir.
So, thank you guys for listening to this podcast, and I want to send this one out to DMX. And Brian, can you give my audience your final thoughts, and then I will hang up the phone and call you right back.
Well, yep. The final thoughts on DMX would definitely be don't do drugs, because if it can take out DMX, it can take out you.
Yeah, exactly, because it'll take out anybody. It don't matter if you're a wrestler or a rapper. It'll take out anybody, and I'll call you right back, B-Rez, and thank you for listening to the show, guys.